Pokemon is 20 years old today. 20 years! That's older than me! I'm old! Well, I shouldn't say that. Anyone who's older than me is gonna be like, oh, you're not old, you're young. But 20 years old. 20 years of Pokemon. That's absolutely crazy. The effect that it's had on the entire world is immense. It's like indescribable. It's such a big thing. So today, to celebrate 20 years of Pokemon, I kind of wanted to tell you guys about its effect on my life personally. I've been playing it since like, I want to say 2000. And I was like, what did I, four or 5 years old when I started playing Pokemon? Like, I could barely fucking read the things on the screen. I mean, I probably could. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know when I learned to read. I don't know when kids learn to read. Whatever the average age for learning to read is, that was when I learned to read. Whatever. So, I started playing it around 2000, I'm gonna say. My first Pokemon game was Pokemon Blue. And I will always represent the Blue Master Race. Actually, look at this here. Fucking blue and yellow. That's crazy! I'm actually wearing this exact thing. My first Pokemon game was blue. My second one was yellow. Or, sorry, this would be a better example. Yellow. And I've never played red. I've never played red. When I first got blue, I had no idea what I was doing. I had no clue whatsoever what I was doing. I sat down and I played the game. And I have no idea what I picked for my first starter, because I restarted that game so many times. And I had no idea how to play it. So, I'd pick my starter, I'd go out into Viridian Forest or whatever, and I'd see the Pokeball out in Viridian Forest. I'd go and pick up that Pokeball, and I'd say to myself, I have to use this on the right Pokemon. I have to conserve this, because when I first started playing Pokemon, no fucking joke, I didn't know you could buy Pokeballs. I had no idea you could buy Pokeballs, so I was a kid, okay? I was a kid. You can't get on me for that. I was a kid. So when I found this Pokeball, I was like, I have to conserve this. I have to use this on the right one. So most of the time, I would sit around and wait to see if I could find a Pikachu. And I'd weaken that thing down, and I'd try and catch it. And I'm pretty sure if I didn't catch it, I would restart the game, because I was like, shit, I wasted my one Pokeball. I mean, I didn't say that because I was a kid. I was like, oh man, I wasted my one Pokeball. What am I gonna do? I have to restart the game now. And for the longest time, I didn't realize you could buy Pokeballs. Of course, when I did find that out, that you could. Oh god, that's a sentence and a half. When I did find out that you could, I felt quite silly. And then I started playing properly. Usually, when I was playing through Pokemon Blue, what I would do is when I got to Cerulean, I would go up to the bridge. I would go past the bridge, go into the route past the bridge, and I would try and find an Abra. And I would try my absolute best to catch this Abra. And it was imperative that I did. Because once I caught this Abra and evolved it into a Kadabra, that Kadabra would be the only Pokemon I would use for the rest of the game. I remember that very vividly, only using a Kadabra for the rest of the game. Why a Kadabra? Well, I mean, I did have friends that played Pokemon. I just didn't know how to work the link cable. Honestly, I tried it. I swear to God, I tried it. I did try it. It just never seemed to work for me. It never seemed to work. So, that's kind of unfortunate. But I did have a Kadabra the majority of the times I played through the game. And I soloed that motherfucker, and he was like my best friend. I'm surprised that Kadabra isn't one of my favorite Pokemon right now, because I absolutely soloed that game. Like, Pokemon Blue is nothing to my Kadabra, nothing. But I used to play through with Kadabras all the time. And I would neglect all my other Pokemon. I wouldn't train up any other Pokemon. Like, a lot of people did. They only train up one Pokemon, but usually when they only train up one Pokemon, it's their starter Pokemon. Mine was a Kadabra. I don't know. It was good in Gen 1. Kadabra was a monster in Gen 1. You didn't have to evolve it. If I evolved it, it would be even easier, but I didn't really have to. So that's my Pokemon Blue story. Then I moved on to Pokemon Yellow. And when I started playing that, I was like, wow, this is a lot harder. Like, what am I supposed to do? And my tactic going into the first gym battle was not to catch a Mankey low kick, even though you could do that. It was not to train up some other Pokemon, maybe to a Butterfree or something. A Butterfree would get destroyed anyway, but it wasn't to train up any other Pokemon. It was to go in there with my Pikachu, use Growl a couple times, use Tail Whip a couple times, and Quick Attack the Onix to death. And the Geodude. And I died so many times on that first gym battle. If I was doing a Nuzlocke, I would have cried over and over again, but that was my tactic going to this, because I was like, oh man, I don't know what else to do. So from the very beginning, you can tell I was a real Pokemon master, but I would sit there and I would Quick Attack the shit out of this Geodude. I would Quick Attack the shit out of this Onix, and it worked. I mean, I did beat them in the end, and it worked, and I would continue my adventure, but it's not the best tactic. It's really not the best tactic to use, but that's what I did. And then I would continue through the game, and I realized that Pokemon Yellow is actually a lot harder. I still reserve that Pokemon Yellow is probably one of the hardest Pokemon games, because the level jump in between, I think it's the 4th gym and the 5th gym. There's like a 10, 20 level jump. It's ridiculous. And I don't know what to do about it. I was just like, oh god, I just had to die over and over again. But I feel like I definitely did finish Pokemon Yellow a couple times, but not even near as much as I did Pokemon Blue. After I finished Pokemon Yellow, I remember going into a shop one day, and my mom was like, hey, look at this, Daniel. So I ran over. I ran over and I was like, oh man, it's a Pokemon game and it has a new Pokemon on it. So it was Pokemon Silver, and I saw this Pokemon game, and I remember standing in front of this, and I was like, can we get it? I really want to get it. So we got it. And I don't remember much from playing through Pokemon Silver when I was a kid. It's mostly just generic stuff. Like, I'm pretty sure I soloed with Typhlosion most of the time. I don't think I even ever, like, really got any of the other starters until, like, a lot later on in my life. But I like all of the Johto starters, I really do. But I would solo with Typhlosion the majority of the time with Pokemon Silver when I played when I was a kid, and it was fantastic. But I don't remember a lot about when I played it, apart from that. I do remember taking on Red. I do remember beating him, and that was fantastic. I felt so proud of myself when I did. I was like, who's this guy? And I went up and battled him, and it was really hard and stuff, but me being the little Pokemaster I was able to do it. But the next Pokemon game I got after that was Crystal, and this Crystal wasn't a normal Crystal. It wasn't the game cartridge Crystal. I got this, I'm pretty sure a lot of you people will remember this if you're as old as I am. You'd get this cartridge, and you put it in, and you'd open it up. It would be bootleg as anything, and it would have like 80 games on it. It would be like 80 games in one. And when I scrolled down, I saw Pokemon Crystal. I was like, I've never played this game before. I've never played Pokemon Crystal before. So I started playing that, and I realized how different it was to Pokemon Silver, and I thought it was really cool. But at the same time, I didn't really finish it much. I didn't play a whole lot of Pokemon Crystal, even though it was on this 80 games in one thing. Probably because it's so bootleg. It's probably glitchy as shit. It wasn't Vietnamese Crystal, by the way, before anyone says that. It wasn't Vietnamese Crystal. I can't speak properly today. But I didn't play a whole lot of that, though. My next Pokemon game was Pokemon Ruby. I remember playing the shit out of that, capturing Groudon, spamming Groudon everywhere. It was fantastic. Spamming Rayquaza everywhere, because in that game, Rayquaza's level 70, which is ridiculous, but it is level 70 when you catch it. I think it's the same in Emerald, actually. Yeah, it's the same in Emerald. So I'd spam the shit out of Rayquaza and my Blaziken. Because I was a fan of the water types. I mean, I was a fan of the fire type starters. For whatever reason, I was a fan of the fire type starters. I'm pretty sure in Blue, I picked Squirtle a lot of that time, though. Because Squirtle's my man. Squirtle is my man, but I would go ahead and destroy that game with some legendaries and a really overpowered starter. And it's pretty much the same deal. I don't really remember a whole lot about playing it, but I'm pretty sure that Ruby or Emerald is my most played Pokemon game. Because I have done that so many times. I repeated the game so many times. I played through every single Pokemon game. Well, not every single Pokemon. I played through the early Pokemon games at least 20 times each. At least 20 times. Well, I mean, per generation. I haven't played through Red at all, but I'd say per generation, I played through at least 20 times each. That's barring YouTube, by the way. That's not including any YouTube series. So yeah, I get Emerald. Actually, before I got Emerald, I remember one of my friends got Emerald, except it was a Turkish version. And I went over to his house, and he was like, yo, look at my uncle got me from Turkey. It's a Pokemon Emerald. And I was like, wow, that's really cool and stuff. So I would sit there. I watched him play the Turkish version of Pokemon Emerald for hours. And we didn't know what anything meant. It wasn't in English. It was just, we didn't understand. We just liked playing it. And it was, I really do remember just like sitting on someone's porch, my friend's porch, and watching him play the Turkish version of Pokemon Emerald. It was really funny, but I mean, it wasn't funny at the time. It was really cool and interesting at the time, but it's really funny thinking about it now, thinking that, like, I couldn't fucking understand any of the words that were on screen, but then I got my own Pokemon Emerald, and everything was great, honestly. Once again, I don't remember a whole lot about that, because it's probably like the same deal with Ruby. I would go through, I would spam one starter, one Pokemon, and I would absolutely destroy the game with that starter and Rayquaza. That's usually how it goes at this point, but after that, there was a huge break in Pokemon, right? Oh, there wasn't really a huge break, but going into the DS era, I remember this a lot more clearly. I was in middle school at the time, and when Pokemon Diamond and Pearl came out, I was talking to my friend. I was like, next time you see me, I'll have a Turtwig or something. Cause I think I remember I was like keeping up to date with Pokemon news at this point. So I went home. I got Pokemon Pearl, and I started with Turtwig. I remember very vividly starting with Turtwig because that's what I said I was gonna do. I'm a man of my word, you know. But I played through that. That was fantastic. I really did enjoy that, and this is the first time that I actually got the other version of the game. So I got Pearl, and then I had my aunt buy me Diamond later on because I'm a spoiled little brat. But I did play through both of them, And I remember when I played through Pearl, when I came up to... Actually, no, it was through Diamond. I remember when I played through Diamond, I got up to Dialga, and I was like, I'm just gonna throw a Pokeball and see how it goes. I threw a Pokeball without damaging it at all, and caught it first try, and I thought I was the shit. I thought I was the fucking master of everything at this point, because usually legendaries are incredibly hard to catch. Of course, we do know that Dialga and Palkia do have increased catch rates. Wait, do they? And 1 second. It does, okay, it has 30, so it does have an increased catch rate, but still, I mean, that's still pretty low. I threw 1 Pokeball and caught it first try. I'm still kind of proud of myself for that fact. I was so happy that I was able to do that anyway. And then then Platinum came out. And I'm pretty sure when Platinum came out, that's when I had this big break. No, sorry, the big break didn't come yet. I played Platinum a lot. I loved it. I still reserve that Platinum is one of my favorite Pokemon games. It's fantastic. I love it. It's great. It's amazing. And it's fantastic. And I love it. And it's great. It's amazing. So, after Platinum came out, Heart Gold and Soul Silver came out. I almost went straight into Gen 5, and I forgot about Heart Gold and Soul Silver, but this is around when I took my break from Pokemon. I did play through the games a bit later on. I didn't get them when they came out. I was doing other stuff. I was playing fucking Call of Duty like a cool kid. But I did take a break from Pokemon. And I did play through it, just not that much, really. I mean, at this point, I played through it a lot of times, but honestly, I think Heart Gold and Soul Silver are probably one of my least played Pokemon games when I'm by myself. I mean, I played a lot on my channel and stuff, but when I'm by myself, it's probably one of the least played Pokemon games, in all honesty, because that's why I took like a big break from Pokemon, and I was still taking this break when Black and White came out. And I remember when Black and White came out, I was still interested in Pokemon. I just wasn't like playing it actively all the time. Not that I really was at any point anyway, but I wasn't playing as much as I used to. And when Black and White came out, I was like, oh shit, okay, Black and White. I don't really want to like buy it because, no, I'm not really super into Pokemon at this point. But I mean, maybe I can download an emulator, and that's the first time I ever tried to download an emulator, when Black and White came out. I think it was when it came out in English, so I didn't get the Japanese version. It was when it came out in English, and I downloaded an emulator on my grand's laptop, which was shit, by the way. If you have a bad computer, you're gonna have a bad time on emulators, let me tell you that. I downloaded that, and I started playing it, and it was so laggy, but I was like, oh my god, I'm playing this Pokemon game, it's like really fun, but I didn't really play it for much before I went home, and I never really looked at it again for a good while. But I think when Black and White 2 came out, actually, I don't think Black and White 2 came out just yet. I did play through Black and White before Black and White 2 came out. I'm pretty sure I played through Black and White before Black and White 2 came out. But when they came out, I actually kind of started to get back into Pokemon a little bit. I started to kind of watch people on YouTube playing it. At this point, I had my YouTube channel because I made my YouTube channel in mid-2011. That's this one, and I've had ones before this. I've been on YouTube for a good long time, but where was I? I lost my spot. I played Black and White before Black and White 2 came out, and that's when I kind of started to get back into Pokemon, started watching people play on YouTube, started watching kind of news and reports and stuff on all that stuff going on. And when I played through Black and White 2, I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. I think it's around that time when I started actually making Pokemon videos on YouTube. Was that before? No, it would have been before that, actually. It would have been before that, but it's coming up to the time when I started making Pokemon videos on YouTube. I played through Black and White 2 like a good amount. I probably played through Black and White 2 more than I played through Black and White 1. I did not like Black and White 1. No, I'm gonna straight up, I didn't like Black and White 1, because when you just come back into playing Pokemon from like not being there for a while, not having any of the familiar faces, kind of like, it put me off. It really did put me off for playing Pokemon, or playing Pokemon Black and White 2, Black and White 1. Black and White 2 had the other Pokemon, didn't it? Yeah, okay, it did. It really put me off playing it, to be honest, and I was just like, it's okay, I guess, but it's not like fantastic or anything, so I didn't play a whole lot of that. When Black and White 2 came out, I was like, oh, they had the old Pokemon, I'm really excited for this, so I played through that a whole lot more than I did the originals. I like that. And around when X and Y was announced is when I was into doing more Pokemon games on YouTube. And you can kind of see where it's going from there. I started doing a lot more. I started mainly focusing my channel on YouTube, on Pokemon. And it's kind of just grown from there. And I played a whole lot more right now than probably in the rest of my life combined. Actually, no, I'm not gonna say that. I played a lot of Pokemon in my younger years, but that's basically my time playing Pokemon. That's not even including the spin-offs. That's not including Mystery Dungeon. That's not including Colosseum, XD Guild of Darkness. That's not including any of that. I mean, that could be a story for a different day, but I played a shit ton of those games as well. So, intermixed with all these main series games playing, I played the shit out of Mystery Dungeon. I love that game. I absolutely adored Colosseum and XD. I still do. I still really like them, but that's kind of like how it went. And of course, you know how it goes now with X and Y and stuff. Actually, when I started doing Pokemon on YouTube, I started playing Pokemon on my own time a lot less because I'm already playing Pokemon every single day, right? Like, when I have my time from not playing Pokemon, not recording and stuff, I want to do other stuff. Like, I want to play with the games. I still do play Pokemon a little bit, but just not even close to being as often as I used to before I did on YouTube. But, you know, X and Y came out, I got both. RS came out, I got both. Sun and Moon are gonna come out, I'm gonna get both. I'm excited, I'm hyped. Basically, what I wanted to see from you guys is your stories. So, you got my story, it was about 16 minutes long. I don't know if you could condense your own down to, like, a paragraph or something, or maybe just a line or two. I just wanna hear, like, how you got into it, what you started with, kind of like how you decided to play through the game, like my dumb idiot mistakes with only one Pokeball, quick attacking Onix and Geodude, stuff like that. I just want to hear that kind of stuff from you. I want to hear your stories because it's Pokemon 20 years. It's a long time. People have been playing it for a long time. There's obviously a lot of stories out there, and I want to hear yours. So let me know your guys' Pokemon stories in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Happy birthday, Pokemon! And I will see you guys next time.